Happy morning. In this video, we are going to discuss constructor in Java. So, what do you mean by constructor? Constructor, in the sense, it's a method. It's nothing but method in Java, but we call it as special method in Java. It is used to initialize object. The constructor is called whenever object of a class is created. So with the help of this constructor, we can initialize object. That means you can set initial values for object attributes. Attributes are nothing but variable inside the class. So constructor is nothing but a special method. It's also a method, but it is a special method. How it is special? The constructor is called whenever an object of the class is created. So that means constructor is invoked implicitly. There is no need to invoke explicitly. No need to call explicitly. So whenever object is created, the constructor will be invoked. That means implicitly. It can be used to set initial values of the object. That means object attributes. The constructor, it doesn't have a return type. That means the constructor must not have a return type. The general method should have return type. Because constructor is a method but special method. How it is special? The constructor must not have a return type. Then constructor is invoked implicitly because method is invoked explicitly. The constructor name must be same as the class name. So whenever you are providing name for constructor, that special method, that name should be same as the class name. Suppose if you are creating Java method, it need not be same as the class name. This is the constructor. Then types of constructor. What are all the types of constructor? So default constructor, parameterized constructor and copy constructor. There are three types of constructor. Apart from that, we have no argument constructor also. Default constructor. These are all types of constructor. After that, we are going to discuss each one separately with some demo. So here, when we talk about Java constructor, first we should understand Java methods because constructor is nothing but a method. So I have already uploaded video related to Java methods. If you want to discuss, if you want to go through that method, you can refer that video link. So Java constructor, it's a special method. So first we should understand what is method. Class name, I can give any name, demo function. Okay, demo function. Then I can have a method name. So how to create method inside? Return, it should have return type, method name. So this is function name, open bracket, close bracket. I can have public static void main, I can display system dot out dot println function demo. So I should have, whenever I am creating class, so I should have main method. So public static void main, because main is the entry point of execution argument. So now what I am going to do, I have created method. So after creating method, that is method definition, that method call, we have to call that particular method. Now I have to create object for that method. That object in the sense demo function, name of the class. So I have to create object for that class, demo function. Then object name is obj1 is equal to new demo function, So what will happen now? So I have created object, then through object I am going to access this function. So what I have to do, obj1 dot the function name. If I call this function, what will happen? This is the program. See, if you look into this program, I have a class name called demo function. Inside that I have a method with return type void. Okay, void in the sense it will not return anything. Then public static void main, I have created object, through object I access that function. This is Java function in Java. This is function without argument. So function without parameter or without argument. So if I run this program, it will display function demo. Now we are talking about constructor. What do you mean by constructor? It is special kind of method, special method in Java, special function in Java. So what we are going to do, if it is constructor, class name and method name should be same. Class name and method name should be same. Instead of this function name, now we can run this program. I have online compiler, so you can execute this program. So if I copy this program, demo function, okay. So name of the class, demo function. I'm changing the name of the class. Then I have a method called void function. So I have to create void function. Void should be, Java is case sensitive. Void function return type should be public. Then public static void main. I am going to create object for this. So if I create object function, okay. So now if you run this program, see it is displaying hello world. If you are not calling this is comment, okay. If you are not calling this function, I have created function, I have created object, that's all. So if I want to call that particular function, I have to use object.function name. Then it will display the result hello world. While calling that function, inside that function, I have written system.out.println function demo. Now it is working perfectly. So what about constructor? Constructor is also a method. So I have to, constructor means class name and method name should be same. Now what I am going to do, what is the class name? Demo function. So I am going to give method name as demo function. Then it should not have return type. Okay, so it should not have return type. No need to call explicitly. So I will remove this. Okay, I'll remove this. It should not have a return type. So this is called no argument constructor. This is called no argument constructor. When you run this program, what will happen? This is, I will change this constructor demo. Constructor demo. If you run this program, the same program will work. See here. In the previous one, I have created function with return type. Then after creating object, if you are not calling that particular object with the function name, that is explicit call. I have to call that function explicitly. What is the beauty of constructor? No need to call explicitly. Implicitly it will call while creating object. Using new operator while creating object, this one will be called implicitly. Suppose if you give void return type, because constructor doesn't have return type. Constructor doesn't have a return type. You are not supposed to specify return type. Okay. So it will not give you the output. See, void demo function I have given. It is not giving output. So constructor should not have return type. Now it is working fine. This is example for No argument constructor. No argument constructor. Then next, parameterized constructor. Second type is parameterized constructor. So I am going to pass some value to this constructor. So parameterized method is also there. So that means I am going to pass some value. So what I am going to do, I am going to give some value, some information, some data to that particular. I am going to provide string information. I am going to provide string information. So string S. Now string S, then after this I'm going to display the value. This is called parameterized constructor. So I am going to display the value S. Okay. So what we have to do, while creating object, we have to pass value. Here I am going to pass value constructor. Hello constructor. Hello constructor. So because here I have one parameter. Okay. So this is parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. That means I am going to pass value to that particular function, that is constructor, special method. So hello constructor, I am passing this value. So while running this program, see, it is displaying, because in this block we have two statements. One is constructor demo, another one is I am passing this value hello constructor. That value will be copied to yes, that is the variable name. Then I am displaying this value. This is called parameterized constructor. This is called parameterized constructor with single argument. Single argument. Single argument. Now I want to pass more than one argument. More than one. That means two argument constructor. This is single argument constructor. Then next one is two argument constructor, three argument constructor. I can pass more than one value also. Now I want to pass one more value. So one more value. So I want to pass value 10. It is of integer type. Okay. So here I will use integer, some variable name A, int A. So if you want to display both the values, then again I can display value A. Can display value A. Now if you run this program, this is called two argument constructor. Two argument constructor. If you run this program, run. So displaying hello constructor because I am passing two values. So without calling that function explicitly, if it is not constructor, then you have to call that function explicitly. But here no need to call explicitly. Then one more thing, it doesn't have any return type. It will not return any value. Constructor will not return any value. So demo function, this is constructor with two arguments. You can have three arguments also. Then one more thing is default constructor. What do you mean by default constructor? Suppose if you are not providing any constructor. Here, see, default constructor. Now we are going to default constructor. What do you mean by default constructor? Here I can have object attribute. Object attributes are nothing but variable within a class. Here I have declared int A, integer variable. Okay, int A. So I don't have any constructor. I'm not going to create any constructor. So I can remove this. Okay, I'll remove this. Now I have this variable. So I want to display the variable. If you want to display that particular variable, we have to create object. Through object you can access. This is normal thing, normal general thing in Java. So I have created object1, then I am going to access obj1.a. Okay, here creating, while declaring variable, I am going to assign some value here. Okay, so I can run this program. Now this is simple Java program. I have a variable called a. I assigned value 10 to that variable. Here I have created object. Through that object I am accessing that value and displaying. This is simple one. Now if default constructor, what is the use of constructor? You can initialize object values. Suppose if you are not creating constructor explicitly, the compiler automatically will create constructor. It will create for us. Here there is no constructor. Now if you are accessing object1.a, object1.a in the sense, automatically, see, now in the previous one I have assigned value, so automatically it will display 10. If you are not assigning values, this is called default constructor. This is called default constructor 0. That means the compiler automatically it will create. That means demo function, inside that it will access this value, this dot a is equal to 0, because this means it is current invoking object. This dot a is equal, this is the meaning for this default constructor. If you are not creating, automatically this constructor will create for us. See, if you run this program, it is showing 0. This is called default constructor. So we have to give explicitly. Suppose if you are not providing this one, default constructor, if you are not providing constructor, automatically the compiler will provide for that. So now it will not give you error. So it will take default value as 0. It is working. That means compiler will do it for us. We call it as default constructor. So first one is no argument constructor. This is called no argument constructor. So no argument constructor, we have already discussed. Constructor without parameter. Then next one is parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor in the sense, we are going to pass some value to that particular constructor. Then third one is parameterized constructor, single argument constructor, 2 argument constructor, then 3 argument constructor. Then one more thing is copy constructor. What do you mean by copy constructor? So copy constructor. So copy constructor is nothing but we are going to copy some values. That means we are going to copy the value from one object to another object. So that means so copy constructor, one more constructor, copy constructor. What do you mean by copy constructor? So passed with another object, some values. Okay, copy constructor passed with another object which copies the data available from the passed object to the newly created object. That means we are going to create new object. So I am going to copy the value of existing object. That is data available in the existing object to newly created object. So that means copy data from existing object to the newly created object. Newly created object. That is called copy constructor. We are going to copy the existing object to the newly created object. So here, see here in this demo program, copy constructor, I am going to create one object. I am going to create one object. So constructor, already we have one object. Okay, so I am going to copy, create one constructor, demo function. Okay, demo function int a. Okay, that means here I am going to pass some value 10. I'm going to pass some value. I've created one construct, that is no argument constructor, one argument constructor. Then after that I'm going to create object. This one will work fine, no need to if you want to display value, you can give some other name a1, because already see. Now if you run this program will work. Now copy constructor, in the sense I am going to pass object as argument. So object as argument, in the sense for this I am going to pass some object. So I am going to create with object. That name of the object is demo function object 1. So here I am going to create one more object. This is one more object. This is object 2. Here we are passing object 1 as argument. Here I am going to give that object name demo function. Okay, this is object 2, not object 2, object 3. Okay, object 3. Then while passing this dot value is a is equal to obj object 2 3 dot a. That's okay. Now if you run this program, so here you can have system.out.println to display the value. System.out.println of obj2.a. Here we have created, this is called copy constructor. Copy constructor, in the sense we are copying the existing object value to the newly created object. Here we have created newly created object is object 2. Have created one object called, that is object 2. I am passing object 1 value. Here object 1 is 10. So what is the value of a? A is 10. So I am passing that object 1 as argument to object 2. So existing object is object 1. So newly created object is object 2. So this is the copy data from the existing object to the newly created object. Existing object is here obj1. That means we have data, that is attribute value a is equal to 10. So newly created object, in the sense obj2. So I am going to copy. So same thing we are doing here. So we are passing object 1. While passing, that value will be passed to this function. Here I am using this dot a is equal to object 3.a. Object 3.a, it will have that value 10. That one will be copied here. Then after that I am calling object 2.a. Because we didn't assign that value, this dot a is equal to a1. Because here a is equal to 0. Then after passing, I am assigning that value. I am printing that value. Now it is working. So class demo function copy constructor. So this is example for copy constructor. Previously it didn't display. Why? Because we didn't assign value. Then it will take the default value as 0. So I am assigning this 10 value to the current invoking object. Then after that I am passing that value to this function. Then it is working fine. 10 10 it is displaying. Copy constructor, we are copying this object 1 value to object 2. So what is the value of object 1 attribute A is 10, the same thing. If you are changing this value as 20, now initially, say, then it will display 2020. Okay, then thank you.